Well, hello there, folks. Miss Chauntel Busche here with Modern Marketing. I am so excited to introduce my guest, my friend, my business partner, my client, my co-host. What else is there? My sister from another mister, Miss Robin Hebert. How are you doing, girl?
I'm doing good, Chauntel, really doing good, holding up, staying in, doing, trying to follow the rules, be a rule follower. It's hard.
Yeah, I know. We both got that little rebel in us that want to just go out and have fun and hang out with people and interact with other human beings in person. I know it's been a struggle for me having to stay in the house, but it's like, everybody just stay in the house so we can get out sooner. Okay? Stay in the house.
you have kids. I don't have kids. I just have, just Chad and I. It's just me and just the two of us. So, and
your cat.
We're still working, and our cats and our dog. And, we're still working as a necessary business, and that's a blessing. We have a plumbing company, Plumbing Dynamics, and we do emergency plumbing. So you can't, if your sewer line breaks, that's what we specialize in, sewer and water lines, you need to have that fixed. And it's a blessing that we're able to still be able to do that. Not everyone's in the same boat, Chauntel.
Yeah. You're super fortunate. I mean, and there still are, even though there's majority of businesses are going through it right now, you do have those businesses that are just essentials, and that is still a necessity, things that you really need. Plumbing is definitely way up there, especially now people are all home and they're using their toilets more, they're using their sewage and their drains and their everything.
That's actually the truth. There's been a lot of clogs we've been handling. That's a good point.
Yeah, I'm sure you have. So, I wanted to do something a little bit different too with this conversation. I mean, a lot of us have been in even some of my own previous videos, and even on the our Impact podcast, which everybody needs to go check out, www.theimpactdallas.com. We'll put it up on the screen. I'm plugging us. Even in our podcast, I wanted to I don't even want to say dig deeper. I just, I want to focus on some different things that maybe others haven't been thinking about during this time. There's a lot of the obvious things like, okay, how are you spending your time? How are you, still exercising and eating right while you're staying in the house to help with stress, because that is a huge factor. But Robin, I want you to kind of tell them just a little bit about yourself and your health. And also, Robin, like I said, is a partner of mine, but also a client of mine who's going to be launching an amazing product line that obviously we're still working on right now. We've got the factory that is shut down, so things are put on hold. So we're not trying to sell anybody anything today. We just want to give you some information. But I'm saying this because it's coming from a very credible resource. And so, Robin, can you explain just your health challenges and kind of a little bit about yourself?
So I am definitely a holistic living advocate now. I think I always felt like I lived pretty healthy, but more than ever before, I'm really cognizant about what's in my environment and what I put on my skin and food I eat. So I had a cancer that was caused by chemical exposure, and so I'm very aware of chemicals in my environment and what I put on my skin. So I only want organic, natural things in my environment where I can't, you can't control everything in the world, right? So you gotta, but the things that you can control, I think that you should try.
Yeah.
So, and especially I think during this time, I mean, should we talk about what's in our environment? I mean, we're at home a lot. Now.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Like, it's the elephant in the room that I feel like not too many people are talking about. I mean, like, again, they're talking a lot about, like, okay, the mental health, the physical activity you could be doing, and how you eat. But the environment part of it, I mean, I'd like to dive in deep with that one.
I mean, now's a good time because I think some people have, like you had said at one time, Chauntel, your people leave the house and they're not home all day. But now we've got families together and we're spending more time in our home. So the home indoor environment, indoor your air quality, what you're cleaning your home with, what you're using every day on dishes, dishwasher, laundry detergent. And I don't sell like that, but I like to have natural solutions where I can get them in my hands. There are we know people who sell that, and I support the people who sell that, and
absolutely.
and what do you call them, essential oils, and all of people that are misting that into their environment. I definitely mist and diffuse essential oils in my environment before I would burn a candle, and especially when you've been cooped up in the house, it's good to have your
elaborate
smell
on the
nice.
candle thing.
But I don't
elaborate on that candle thing for me.
What's that?
Because I've heard you say the thing about how you don't burn candles, and then I'm a fan of candles, but then after talking to you and then kind of learning a little bit more about that, can you tell people out there and educate them a little bit about the difference between, burning a candle and then having a diffuser?
Well, obviously we burn a candle because we want to have scent in our home, and we like scent. Scent, it evokes emotion. It creates an ambiance in your home. But I like candles too, and I like the ambiance that they provide, the flickering, the lighting. That's all part of the experience. And I do occasionally still burn candles. I'm just really aware of the kind of candles I burn. It has to be really all natural soy wax with an all natural cotton wick with no like a metal that runs down the center of the wick, because there's certain wicking processes that when they burn, they emit bad chemicals in your environment. So that's why I'm just really, and just smoke itself, even with the healthiest wick and the healthiest wax, you still have to blow that out, and there's still, and as the candle burns, there is still some kind of a residue that's emitted into the environment, regardless. So
so somebody who has allergies like me, as you and I have been talking about, is not really the wisest thing to be doing.
And people forget that, I think that, or maybe people don't really realize that what scents a lot of those candles is often a petrochemical-based scenting process, not a natural scenting process. So if I also am burning a candle, I'm making sure that it's scented with only essential oils, which are completely naturally derived scents and the healthiest for you. And that's why I like to diffuse, because, and I'm diffusing now, like anti-stress blends, I'm diffusing a lot of lavender and
Same.
And
I just put it directly on my body. That's the thing that I end up doing. I'm like, here, let's just put a dab. Well, let's put a little bit more than a dab. I got like stress away and all those little blends, and I'm always.
I'm telling you. So yeah, we all like to have scent. We like to have scent in our environment. I mean, I just cringe. I have an interior design business, and as well as our plumbing.
Yes, a really wonderful one.
Thank you. And my design business is holistically based too, because I concentrate on how you feel in your home. And then when we work about how you want to feel in your home, I think you attract we can attract the right kind of stuff. So when and I advocate paints that are not low VOC, paints that aren't emitting bad fumes, and there's going to be a chemical process when furniture is made regardless, but I like to inform my clients about off-gassing of furniture and leaving it sit somewhere in an area, a new piece of furniture, before you bring it into your home, because it does off-gassing chemicals. So I make my clients aware
of like the fabrics and stuff like that. Like I know, because when you work in a factory.
Yeah. And I had a garment industry career at one time. So I have a really strong, in the wholesale garment industry, so I have a really strong textiles background. So I know it goes into making a lot of textiles. And there are chemicals that go into processing textiles, period. That is.
Would you say the type of cancer that you had that attributed to helping to manifest that?
Yeah, we definitely think that. I had kidney cancer and I didn't fall into any risk factors. I don't have cancer in my family. I didn't fall into any risk factors for kidney cancer at all. So we could only surmise, and kidney cancer is a kind in particular that can be, I think a lot of cancers can be caused by chemical exposures, really, but I know the kidney's one of them. So, that was a really cool paradigm shift, or like a turning point for me, because it made me much more, it made me much more aware of that, to the point like where I went under my kitchen sink and started pulling out like what's in my environment here at home, which kind of brings us back to the original question that you had asked. And that was making people aware on not just your candles and your diffusers, but also, what are you using to, are you using Mr. Clean? I think I don't, I don't necessarily recommend that. I think that there are more natural alternatives to get your house clean. And we know that there's a lot of brands out there that sell. There's Young Living and doTERRA and Melaleuca, just to name three.
I have all of those.
I buy them too from people. I don't sell them.
Yeah, I don't sell them either. I don't sell any of them, but I use all of them.
But I, there's the Young Living makes their Thieves cleaner. That's a great natural cleaner. Melaleuca has an entire line of unbelievably natural cleaners. So it's a good time while we're cooped up in the house to think about what we have in our, let's keep the environment. That you're in all day long. Okay, we got to exercise, great. Yeah, we got to eat healthy. We got to remember, we don't want to pack on pounds while we're sitting at home either. But we also, now's a good time, I think, to take a look at your home environment, because we're in the house a lot more, and what we're breathing.
Oh my God, so much more.
Using to clean in our home. Now's a good time to put that positive spin on, I think I've cleaned out every closet that I could possibly go through. Great. It's a good time to go through your to-do list, but put on your to-do list and order online some natural cleaning alternatives for your home. Yeah.
And I know we were just talking about some suggestions, and I'm asking you just even for myself. Like, we were just talking about air filters in the house. I'd like to probably get one for the game room, for my bedroom and the living room. So what do you recommend for air filters?
I have.
Or what should we be looking for if we're looking for a brand? Like, what are the key points of something that would
And I think I'm not spending a lot of money in my house right now, as you can imagine. The only thing I've been buying is like extra snuggy clothes, and what do we call it? The daytime pajamas and nighttime pajamas.
That's right. I was like, girl, I got my daytime pajamas and my nighttime pajamas right now.
I'm in a lot of athleisure wear. So if I'm not buying that, it's a good time to think about. And obviously we're ordering, we occasionally order some food in. But I would recommend, if you're sitting in front of your computer, to research some air filters for your home. We're in our house a lot more, and it's good to get the clean out bacteria, as well as dirt, pet dander. And there are different levels of air filtration, and there are different levels of, and certainly huge variances in price points and brands of air filters. I have one in we have one in our master bedroom, and we have a larger one in our common area. And I don't advocate one brand over another, but I do advocate having any HEPA filtration, and that stands for, what does it stand for again? It stands for high efficiency particulate air. So high efficiency particulate air. So so that's where you want to start. And then there are there are filters that filter out the highest level of microns. And so if you can get an air filter that's filtering out 99.9% or at least 99% of all that means the teeniest of particles they're able to filter out, that's a great way to start. Think of those two things, those two criteria when you're looking on, you can look on Amazon and they sell many different brands and many different price points, but now's a good time to think about the air quality in your home and how that makes you also feel. That's a quality of life issue too. Thank God we can take a run. We can, moms with strollers can stroller their kids around the block still. I think our neighborhood playground is still open, and so we're able to get out and get some fresh air. But granted, we're in our home a lot more. We aren't at the gym.
Yes.
We aren't at other community. We aren't on a tennis court. We aren't in other in a racquetball court and in the kickboxing gym. We're not able to be in those places. We're at home getting our exercise on, and anyway, we should be as concerned about how we are in the air we're breathing at home. What we're using to clean the house with as we are about stepping out and getting that fresh air. Having the feel fresh air in our house is important. That's what I think that's important.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think now's the time for people to kind of go through their budget, so to speak, and think, okay, the life still goes on, but now priorities are changing. And I know even for myself, like you and I were just talking about before this, is I have had to look at my budget and pull from one area that I'm used to spending in and invest it into something else that is more needed now. And that's why I was even talking about the air filters. Like, I'm used to getting up early. I'm out in meetings. I'm around town, and, my kids are at school all day. And then, we're just not used to being in the house this much. And where I would normally go out and spend money on my, lunches or dinner meetings or whatever it might be, I'm still getting takeout every so often because I'm trying to also support the businesses that are still open around me. But the budget is making a shift, and people need to be like, okay, what do I need right now for this new normal, that's this temporary new normal? What are the kinds of changes you need to make? And I think those changes in the budget are super important. Like, I'm going to invest in air filters rather than, maybe buying more pajamas or more clothing or purses. Like, we were talking about, like, why did I have a Prada bag in the shopping cart? Where am I going with a purse right now? Where am I going? Not going anywhere. So.
Agreed. I mean, I think everybody's looking to tighten their buckle a little bit right now. I mean, there are some people, families, and individuals and businesses that, we're able to work, but not everybody is in the same boat. So, in the spirit of austerity, looking where, and to your point, looking where you are going to spend or not spend.
Yeah, absolutely. I've even invested in some games for the yard. Like I got a croquet set on Amazon for the kids and cornhole, stuff like that.
That's cool.
I'm like, okay, I would normally be taking them out to the movies or something, and actually ends up being more expensive. And so in some ways you're spending more money because you're at home, or you're making less money, but in some ways you're not spending as much as you normally would. I mean, everybody's in different positions. You and I are very fortunate, though, that even though we're taking a hit in some ways, we still have some income coming in. And which brings me to kind of my next thing is I want to talk a little bit about what we can do during this economical times as far as bartering. Whether you do a full-on barter, depending upon the products or the services that you offer, or if you're doing partial barter with, a lower rate, or what kind of discounts you might be offering. I know for myself, I've been just giving really substantial discounts to people, but what I would like to do, like if I offer anybody who's watching this, who has a business or was trying to start a business or has one and they're losing people or whatever it might be. I am a business consultant, and part of the things that I do is I go in and I'm an analyst. I check out the business. I see where you were, where are you now, and kind of where are we trying to go, and what does that plan look like? and I do quarterly. I do it in quarters, which is, I do it in quarters for this very reason, because the future is so unknown. And as much as I'd like to plan a whole year out, it's simply not the way that life works. And so right now I'm going to be doing a free analyzations of businesses and consultations for that. Now, I want to hear your thoughts a little bit about the bartering thing too, or discounts, or what are your thoughts on that? What do you think about bartering?
Well, I think now, I have bartered in we have service industries, right? So I have bartered with other service industry professionals in the past. And you and I were talking about this, before we started to record. And I think that now, I agree that now is a time more than ever that I think people are going to be doing more creative bartering for even products and services. And so I know we just did an exchange with an electrician that we network with, and we need some electrical work done. Actually, it's outside around our pool, and some wire restrung around the pool, and he said I could use some plumbing work out at a rental house, and so he was great, and that works out well. And that's an obvious way to barter. I have in the past bartered design services of a room in exchange with an organizer, because I don't do organizing. I often bring an organizer in with me and on a project when we need to, like we're staging a house to sell, and we got to clean out some closets, and I don't really want to do that. But I have exchanged with her, like my organizational skills are not great. My closets can tend to need help with, so I've exchanged design services with organizing services. So I think it's a good time to get creative and maybe make a list of the ways that you can barter your products and services during these times, so that it doesn't break your bank, and you can stay on budget, and people are being more aware of dollars out. I don't know that this is a great time to be sold to, if that makes sense. Like,
I agree with you.
It's not a good time for you to go down your list and ask everybody. I know the products I'm going to need. I want to know that they're still there. I want people in my network to know that they're still there, but and offer availability, but not in overt way. Does that make sense, Chauntel? I'm not trying to.
It's all about it's and I understand you 100,000,000%. And I think here's the difference. You want to keep your presence out there. You want your presence to be known. However, nobody wants to be sold to right now. I don't care who you are. I am not going to try to contact businesses at this time and pick up the phone and be like, hey, so do you need a new website? Or, hey, let's try to do a rebrand. No, it's more like, hey, I am letting people know that modern marketing is here. We understand that businesses are affected by this. This is what we're offering to you since you're effective, and you get the free consult or whatever it is. If it's taken away the whole pushing a product on someone, and just letting people know, like, we see you, we hear you, and we're here for you. Reach out to us if you want. None of this.
But and then to add to that, though, is that I am using this downtime. And if you have budget to use this downtime to rebrand your business or to invest in your business, to reemerge on the other side of this bigger, bolder, and better, that's great. And I recommend that to anybody. We're redoing my design website, logoing, rebranding. Now's a good time to be doing that, right? So I am doing that, and I do advocate that. And if you can, if there is way for us to barter, not you and me, but food for thought for others. If you're thinking about taking advantage of this downtime, this is the time to get your ducks in a row and be really positioned for when we all emerge out of this, that we're all that much stronger, and you're not behind the eight ball.
Here's the thing.
You're ahead of the eight ball.
Behind. And that's just the thing. And you hit the nail right on the head, because this is not a time to pause and freeze and be like, I'm not doing anything anymore. Yes, it's a time to cut back. I even have clients of mine that I said, let's pause this and let's keep in touch next month and see what's going on. Because each individual case by case, there's something different. But I'm still offering my advice to them. And even though they're not spending money with me currently, I'm still saying, okay, this is what you need to be doing in the meantime then. And then, we'll regroup next month or in 2 weeks or a week or whatever it might be. Because at this point, we're really taking everything a day at a time. Everything is just so unpredictable. But one thing I do know is that it's not going to be next week, Monday, that this is done. We have not peaked yet. As we all do, we have our own resources and people that are doctors or people in the industry or whatever. I'm not a doctor. I know lots of doctors. I've heard a lot of different things from a lot of different people, but all those things really, truly are irrelevant. What really matters is, what are the laws of the land right now? What are they telling us we need to do? And then just doing that and taking it day by day. Now, it doesn't mean that you go into it like, ignorant and you're or anything like that. But at this point, there's so many things that are just not in our control. Focusing on shoulda, coulda, woulda, or they need to do this or they need to do that when we're not the ones making these rules, is going to take away from time and effort and energy that you could be putting into your life, really, your business, your family, or whatever it might be.
Agreed, because we will come out on the other side. I mean, for my business, Chauntel, I really hope after everybody spends, an inordinate amount of time in their home, that they're starting to make a mental list of all the things they want to change in their environment. Because I'm going to tell you something, I want to redecorate my whole house myself right now. So I'm going to paint my kitchen this weekend, in fact. I've had
nice.
Yeah, I've had paint purchased. I would normally hire a painter to come in and do this. I'm not going to do that. I've got time on my hands, and I'm able-bodied, and I'm going to get up on the ladder, and I'm going to paint my kitchen this weekend. And so just taking a look around going, oh, you know what? I'm knocking this out, because I'm spending more time in my home, and I don't like the walls I'm looking at right now necessarily. So, that's my personal hope, is that when people, my selfish hope for my business is that people go, oh, there's a room I really want to repurpose, or,
Well, they start thinking about all the things that they could be doing in the house, and they're like, okay.
I could be optimizing space. I think if you don't have a really snuggy place in your home right now, to make one, and make an area where every person in your household has an area of their own. And it doesn't have to be a room. It can just be a corner, a chair with the right pillow and the right throw on it, that everybody deserves to have a little haven area during this time. And my husband and I are in a big open floor plan. And so sometimes it feels like we're in one big room, but we make it a point to be able to have areas. He likes to meditate, so do I. Or we can have headphones in. We're doing more of that lately than what we had been doing. We finding some cool meditations on YouTube and other sources on the internet, putting those headphones in, and then sitting in our respective Zen places in the house, and taking that in. So I definitely recommend that. Get a spot where you just feel really amazing in, and practice those affirmations in those areas, because write your 3 gratitudes a day down in those areas. This too shall pass. It's normal to feel scared. It's normal to be apprehensive about what the future is going to hold, but
absolutely,
use this time and to get centered in your home, and centered, I think, in yourself.
Yeah, absolutely. That is great advice. That is great advice. And so just to kind of wrap things up, there's one thing that I really wanted to kind of do with you and let people out there knowing that's watching this, whether it's you or somebody that you might know, between Robin and I, who are very big networks, and we both talk to everybody, and we got our homies and our group of people, and the women of eWomen Network too as well, which is how we initially met each other. We wanted to say, please feel free to, inbox us or inbox me on the Modern Marketing Facebook page here. And if there's anything that somebody needs, whether you have maybe like an elderly parent and you're far away from them and they need eggs, like how you were saying earlier, Robin, a really easier thing, a single mother. I'm a single mom, so I can empathize. I mean, I have been in some very tough situations, as you know, in my not so far past, I've been through lots of trauma in my life, had my house burned down in the Paradise Campfire and had to start my life all over again, lost my business, lost the people in my life. It was crazy. So I understand what it's like to be in this position where you need help, and it's really difficult to ask for it. But I want us to also use this platform to help as many people on whatever level possible, because sometimes something that's so small to us is something so huge to someone else. Now, did you want to add anything to that, Robin? Any ideas of people that could reach out?
I agree with you 100%. And I feel like when we keep our sense of community, and that's my priority is certainly my family, but my community is such an active part. Without our sense of community, we don't even have people to do business with, and making sure that they stay sane and nourished and nurtured through this. And it's one thing to have a virtual, we both participated in virtual happy hours where we're on a Zoom and we're having a glass of wine, and that's great. But sometimes we need those one-on-ones where you can reach out and say, I'm really petrified and I'm a single mom and I just don't want to take my kids to the store with me and I really can't get out, and someone drop some stuff off to me. I tried to order on Whole Foods through Amazon, and I can't get a delivery date any day soon. Those 2-hour delivery windows aren't happening anymore. And so reaching out to our community for that loaf of bread, those rolls of toilet paper, that box of Kleenex, that listening ear of, I'm nervous, I'm scared, I don't, my electricity might get turned off. Well, I'm in a position that I might, that I can help somebody keep your lights on, or keep some semblance of order. And that's what we should all be drawing, not just you and me, Chauntel, but all of us. And if that message resonates with everybody who's watching this, inbox, so we know. There's one thing when you qualify for social services throughout the year, right? But it's a very real possibility that we may need those kinds of things now. And don't feel nervous about reaching out to. My sister-in-law is a mental health professional, and her phone's been blowing up, and she's been doing more Zoom consultations than ever before. And she feels good that people are reaching out. And that's a big part of her message is reach out to these things when you can. If you know of a family or children or women who are in peril because they're not in a great, think about it, your life if you're not in a great situation to begin with. And you start
talking about this. If
with people you don't want to be quarantined with, having a safe place to inbox and reach out that, hey, I need help. Because I think that all of us, our sense of community can pull together and guide each other to those resources that we need.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think if anybody would like to donate anything or just kind of, team up with Robin and I that have resources that either have money or food items or masks, whatever it is, please do reach out to us. Let us know how you'd like to participate, and we can, kind of keep this paying it forward thing kind of going on. But again, thank you so much for joining me today, Miss Robin.
Chauntel,
You know, she's like one of my favorite
pleasure.
humans.
You're one of mine as well. I'm blessed to have you in my life.
All right. Bye, everybody.
Bye.